Before I get into today's episode, I just wanted to quickly mention that I've upgraded my Patreon membership. So I know that quite a lot of people want to join this world and help me out or just download the world and explore. But I don't really feel comfortable doing that. I already see a few people trying to steal my content and claim it as their own. And because I'm only a small creator, people don't really realise that it's not their content or their world. And I feel like if I did release a world download, a bunch more people could easily just take the world and then start making content with it and claim it as their work. And to be honest, I just don't want that to happen. So of course, like everything else, there's a few people that ruin it for everyone else. But I thought what could be a fun thing to do is to let some of my patrons come onto the world and explore. So I've upgraded the memberships, and for a certain membership you can join the world. I'm going to do it like once a month. So I'll arrange a day over on Discord and stuff. And once a month, I'll just leave the world open to my patrons. You can come onto the world, just explore. And I'm going to give you like a shulker box with some tools and armor, and even a book which has the coordinates to all of my projects. So I just thought it could be a fun idea. At least then some people can join the world, and it would be the people who are supporting me as well. And I do want to try to get to a point where I can take YouTube a bit more seriously and post more often, make more videos, and even start live streaming more often. So people who support me on Patreon are helping me move one step closer towards that goal as well. And the problem is that I am on Xbox, and I tried making this world into a realm so then everyone could join no matter what platform you're on, but it just wouldn't allow me to do that for some reason. So because I'm on Xbox, I think you would also have to be on Xbox to join. Maybe someone can correct me down in the comments. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but I do think you have to be on the same console. So if any of those things interest you, just feel free to check it out. It will be linked down below. But anyway, we'll get straight into the video. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Minecraft Survival Let's Play. So today I want to try something that might not even be possible to do in Bedrock Edition. So some of you will already know that a big part of this world is that I set myself challenges, and I get my followers and subscribers to set me some more challenges as well. And then I've got to try to complete them in Survival Minecraft. And this is the room where I'm stalling all of the challenges. And there's one that I've been putting off for quite a while now, but I'm finally going to get to it, and I'm going to see if it is possible to do in Bedrock. So I need to kill 5 withers at once. So people on Java will probably be laughing at this right now, because it's pretty easy to kill a lot of withers at once on Java Edition. But on Bedrock Edition, the wither is no joke. Like, one wither is hard enough to kill, so I don't know how I'm going to do 5 at the same time. And I do have almost 2,800 levels at the moment, and it took a long time to get all of those levels, and I do have a challenge here to get to 10,000 overall. So I really don't want to die and lose all of my levels either. So it's kind of funny, but the first thing I need to do to prepare for killing 5 withers is to kill a few more withers. So I don't think there's any way that I'm going to be able to do this challenge without beacon buffs. And I don't really have any spare beacons at the moment. The way that I used to trap the wither was underneath the end portal, but that got patched quite a while ago now, and apparently there's another way to do it with these smaller portals here. So I've got some items together, and I'm just going to follow a YouTube tutorial for this. So I'll leave it linked down below. If it does work, just feel free to go check it out. So it only took a couple of minutes to set up here. So all I had to do was remove the portal and then place these blocks facing in the right direction. And I've actually just realised that I forgot to place the obsidian in here. So you're supposed to place some obsidian below and above the bedrock. Okay, so now it's set up properly. I don't really know how much the obsidian affects it. I don't know if it really does anything. But I'm just following a tutorial here, so this should be the finished thing. And I've not actually tested this in survival or creative yet. So this is the first time I'm going to be doing it. I just kind of hope it works. So I just killed the first one, but the recording was pretty terrible, so I'm not going to be showing that. But yeah, it didn't really go to plan. It started attacking like down here. It's done some damage to the surroundings. I got a few wither roses because it was killing the enderman. It also destroyed the obsidian above and below. And I almost died as well. So even though the wither is trapped, it still does a lot of damage, and yeah, I don't know how I'm going to kill 5 of these at once when they're not trapped, if I struggle to kill one of them that was trapped. But anyway, I need to kill a few more, so I'm just going to spawn another one in here. Hopefully this one goes a little bit better. So it gets trapped in the middle there. You need to wait for it to like explode or something. then it instantly starts doing damage to the Enderman. So this one's going a little bit better than the first one, it was kind of easier. But the problem is it keeps destroying the blocks that I'm trying to stand on, and then I just keep falling down. It kind of gets annoying, but it is dead here, and I didn't actually see any wither skeletons spawn that time. Usually if it's on hard mode a few wither skeletons spawn, but I didn't see any for some reason. But anyway, that's 2 down, so I've got 2 nether stars. I think I'm probably going to need about 5 beacons overall. So I'm just going to quickly kill a few more of these and then we'll move on. I got 10 nether stars overall, so obviously that's enough for 10 beacons. I'm not going to need all of these, but I just thought it'd be nice to have a few spares for any other projects that I'm going to be doing in the future. But anyway, now that I've got the beacons and I've prepared some other stuff here, I need to find a location to actually fight the withers. Okay, I've either had a genius idea or a terrible idea, but I've decided I'm going to do this over at my witch farm. So for anyone who hasn't seen this, this is my little witch farm. I'm stood on top of the witch hut there. So the farm's pretty small itself, but I'm going to be digging a big perimeter around the outside. So I'm actually going to be digging it a little bit bigger than this. But it's supposed to go all the way down to bedrock. I've been digging it for quite a few months now, just every time I've got a little bit of free time. And there's still a long way to go. And now I'm at the deep slate levels, it's going to start taking longer. Obviously it's a little bit harder to dig the deep slate than the regular stone. So I thought that it could be a good idea to fight the withers underneath this project. And then they're going to dig out a lot of this deep slate for me. So I'm going to spawn them in here. And they're going to do a lot of damage around this place. And all of the deep slate that they remove is less of the blocks that I have to dig with my pickaxe. So it could be a good idea if it goes well. But if it goes wrong, it could be a terrible idea because my witch farm is just up here. And I've got a lot of valuable items up here as well. So all of these shulker boxes and chests are just full of materials. And then over here I've got some pretty valuable items like diamonds. I've got loads of copper and iron and stuff. So I really don't want any damage to be done to this. I don't want the farm to be damaged over there. And they could like fly up here and start demolishing some of the landscape around here as well. And I don't want that to happen either. So there is a chance it goes wrong, but if it goes well, I think it's going to be quite a good idea. But anyway, I did go ahead and I set up the beacons in all of the corners. So I did actually need 2 more beacons. I decided to set up 3 in each of the corners. So you can see that I've got strength 2, regeneration, resistance 2, and I also set up one with speed as well. Because if you want regeneration, you need to have another one of the boosts. So I just decided to go for speed. So these are all of the boosts that I'm going to get. I've also got haste from these beacons I already had set up as well. So this is the same in all 4 corners. So I do have a lot of beacon coverage around here. And if I head back down to where I'm actually going to spawn the withers, this is roughly in the centre of the entire area. So even if they go off like quite a long distance in one direction, I should still get all of the beacon boosts. And I have done some extra preparation as well. So I brought a few spare totems, I've got some night vision potions and fire resistance just in case. I didn't bother bringing any milk because if I drink milk I'm just going to lose all of my potion effects and my beacon effects. So I don't really see the point of using milk. But yeah, that's a choice, maybe I'll regret that, I'm not really sure. I've also got my sword with Smite 5. It's not Netherite, but Smite 5 is better for killing the wither. I'm just going to be eating golden apples instead of regular food, and I've got a bow. Also I'm going to use the chest plate instead of the elytra just for some extra protection. And then one final thing is the iron golems. So I've got some up here, I think there's like 20 or 25 up there. I'm going to spawn in the withers and then I'm going to break this block. Otherwise I think they're just going to try to attack the withers and then they're going to take loads of damage when they do like the initial blast. And usually when I fight the wither, they always just seem to lock onto mobs that are up above and they just start like flying upwards. So to try and stop that, I've got some iron golems off to the sides as well. So it's the same on all 4 sides, about 10 blocks away. I've just got some iron golems in here. And I'm kind of hoping that the withers will lock onto them instead of flying upwards and locking onto stuff in the caves up above. So I'm just trying to keep it more controlled and keep them all down low and in one place. But anyway, I think that's all of the preparation that I've got to do. And I've got a wither skull in each of these dispensers with some redstone. So all I've got to do is place this redstone here, and when I press the button, they're all going to spawn. Now that you've seen the highlights of the fight, I just thought I'd break some of it down. So my plan going into this was to focus on killing one wither at a time. So I was just going to target one wither, go for that until it was dead and then move on. But that went out of the window pretty much straight away. It was just way too difficult to target one of them. They were all flying everywhere, dashing around, and I was getting knocked up and down. So it was just too hard to keep track of one. So I ended up just shooting them randomly and doing little bits of damage to each of them. And I was eating golden apples constantly. So usually you've got 10 hearts in Minecraft, but if you eat a golden apple it gives you an extra 2. And I tried to just eat a golden apple every time I got down to 10 hearts. So I wanted to stay above that as much as possible. And as I mentioned, I was just getting knocked about everywhere. It was so hard to actually keep track of anything because I would try to walk towards a wither and then I would just get knocked about and fall down. I tried jumping on top of a block and then the block would get removed and I'd get knocked backwards. So moving around at all was pretty difficult here. And there's a part here where I just got really confused. I wasn't really sure where I was and I thought there was a wither above me. And it looked like it was shooting from above, so I was looking up there but there was nothing there. So yeah, I just got pretty confused here. And even shooting the withers was pretty difficult. They kept moving around, obviously I'm getting knocked about everywhere. And then to make it even harder, the iron golems kept walking in my line of sight. So I actually took out quite a few iron golems during this fight as well. But anyway, I did see my first opportunity to kill one of the withers. So I went in with the sword and hit it a few times. It did dash away, but I managed to get it pretty quickly after this. And each time that I killed a wither, I made sure to run away from it a little bit. So it takes about 10 seconds or so until it explodes and drops the star. And I didn't want to be standing where the star was going to drop because I didn't want a wither to shoot towards it and then destroy it before I could pick it up. So I had to be kind of smart about running away and then going in to get the star at the right time. And it wasn't long before I managed to get the second kill. And this time all of the withers were pretty distracted with the iron golems, so I could stay relatively close by. And then as soon as the star dropped, I ran in to pick that up as well. One of the remaining withers was in quite a good position to kill, so I went in to try and kill it. It did dash away, but I still managed to get it anyway. And this is the point where I realised that I'm probably going to be fine. There's only 2 withers left, and I've not really gone below 10 hearts at all so far. So I was probably going to be fine as long as they didn't start flying upwards towards the caves above. And I also realised at this point that I still had a load of iron golems trapped and they hadn't even been taking part in the fight yet. So that's a little bit of extra backup that I didn't even know I had. But anyway, my potions did run out, which meant I was 8 minutes into the fight at this point. And I saw my first wither skeletons during the fight. But now that I've watched back the clips, I did see a few in the background at some points. I just wasn't paying attention. And the iron golems took them out pretty easily each time. And it wasn't long after I took the potions that I realised the fourth wither was in a pretty good position to kill. So I went in and got the final hits on that. And then I realised the final wither was just behind me and was also in a pretty good position. So I just went at this one with the sword. It started backing up and went into a cave, but I managed to finish it off anyway. And then I waited for it to explode, and that was the fight complete. Okay, so here is the aftermath. And I'll be honest, it wasn't quite as bad as I was expecting. They did destroy a lot around here. But I was expecting it to be so much worse than this. There's still quite a lot of space above until I get towards like the surface where I've been digging it out. And they didn't really go too far either of these ways either. And overall they just didn't cause too much destruction down here. I think I fought one wither before and it's done more damage than this overall. I'm not going to say the fight was easy because it wasn't. But I did a lot of preparation to make it easier than it could have been. If I didn't have the iron golems around, I'm pretty sure I would have died, or I wouldn't have been able to kill them and they would have gone up and I would have lost track of them. And I know on Java Edition people have done like 100 withers at a time, but because the Bedrock wither is just so much better than the Java wither, I don't know if anyone's ever done 5 at once before. But I've done 5 and I definitely want to try 10 now. I'm not going to do it in this video, I probably won't do it for a little while. But I do want to try and fight 10 at a time. I think I could do that. It's going to be a lot harder than 5 obviously, but I think it is going to be possible. And there is actually a few iron golems that have survived the fight, so I've seen about 5 of them overall. There's one down there, a few in this cave down here, one over there. So there's probably about 5 or 10 that survived, and I think I'm just going to keep them here forever. It's like when I dig all of this out, I'm just going to keep them at the bottom of the witch farm project, just so that every time I see them in the future, I can like remember back to when I fought 5 withers down here. But anyway, back over to the base, I've turned the lamp on up here, so this indicates that I've completed the challenge. So the challenge was actually set about 2 years ago, but I took a big break from the game in 2022, I barely played. And I do take my time with a lot of stuff like this anyway. But yeah, it's been like 2 years since I got the challenge set, and I finally completed it. The challenge was set by Billy Cohen 23, and it was actually quite fun. It was a challenge I enjoyed. And like I mentioned earlier, I probably did over-prepare, but I really just didn't want to die, and it turns out that I didn't really even come close to dying anyway. But yeah, I did actually manage to get all 5 of the Nether Stars. So I wasn't so bothered about getting these for beacons because I've got plenty of wither skulls, I can make plenty more beacons with those. But I just wanted to keep them because I thought it'd be like a cool thing to keep in the museum when I eventually build that. So I'll have them on display in the museum and then probably some signs saying like how I got them, fighting 5 withers at once, just stuff like that. So for now I'm just going to keep them in a barrel that I've put under here. But eventually I will build a museum and I'll have them on display in there. And one last thing about the wither fight before I move on. I am actually going to post a video to the channel of just the wither fight with no edits, no cuts or anything. So if anyone wants to watch the full fight with no like commentary or edits, it's going to be posted at the same time as this Let's Play video, or maybe a little bit after. So just feel free to go check that out. It's only like 9 minutes long or something like that. And you'll see everything that I cut from the actual video. So I don't really have too much more time to record for this week. But in the last episode I said that I'm going to try to add one more item to the checklist from now until probably episode 100. So I can't really remember what I added in the last episode. But for today's episode I think I'm going to add the rooted dirt. So I've only got 1 in here, I need another 63. And when this first got added, I just thought you could craft it with like roots and then dirt. I just thought that made sense. But you can't do that. I don't know if you can do it on Java or not. But it just made sense to me, but you can't actually craft this stuff. So I'm going to have to go and find it instead. I know that the rooted dirt generates underneath the azalea trees. And I've definitely seen some around here before. There's actually one just here. So it generates underneath these, you can see it. But I don't know how far it goes down or how much you can actually get. So I'm just going to keep mining it, see how much I get, and hopefully there's at least a stack here. So I managed to get just over 4 stacks overall. I'm not really sure if that's lucky or if that's like the average that you would usually get. I've never actually mined this before from underneath one of those trees. But I'm going to add 63 into here, so that's a full stack of rooted dirt. And that's another item checked off the checklist. And I did actually realise it is possible to farm these, so if you get one of these little azalea tree things and then use bone meal, it makes some rooted dirt underneath. So it would be possible to farm rooted dirt that way, but it'd be quite a slow process and I'm not really sure how you'd do that efficiently. But anyway, that's all I've got time for in today's episode. The wither fight is all I really wanted to do, and it's just started raining. And I did actually want to ask that if anyone else has any more challenges that you want me to do in this series, just let me know and I'll add them to this room here. So I've still got plenty more challenges that I need to do. I'm working towards a lot of these at the same time. But if anyone's got any new ones, just feel free to let me know. I know someone is going to suggest that I fight 5 wardens at once. Maybe I'll do that one day, I don't really know. But anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode and I'll see you all next time.